There are certain things which are wrong with us because we made so many mistakes. But then there is something deeper than that is wrong with us. Because if I would be absolutely perfect, then what I'm doing in this world is a hospital. This world is a place where I fix my soul. It means that obviously there's something wrong. The holy Sukkachover was the son-in-law of the Kotzker and he was one of the greatest geniuses in the last 1,000 years, or maybe in the history of the Jewish people. When he was 2 years old, his father would wake at 2 a.m. and learn with his students. The Sukkachover's father was a great genius, and obviously the students he had were also great geniuses. The little boy in his crib would wake up and listen to the learning. His father would ask a question and he would wait until somebody answered. If nobody would answer, he would say, Father, come here. I want to tell you the answer. And he would tell him the answer. When he was a bar mitzvah, he became the son-in-law of the Kotzker Rebbe. And when he was 14 years old, he fell very sick. So his father walked into the Kotzker Rebbe and asked him to pray for his son-in-law. Rebbe, pray for my son. There's nobody in the world who has learned so much. He's 14 years old and he knows the whole Torah. The Kotzker Rebbe answered, you call this learning? Whatever the father said good about him, the Kotzker knocked it off. He tried his best to convince the Kotzker Rebbe that his son is very special. And after all, it was the Kotzker's own son-in-law. The father couldn't understand what was going on. After a few days, the greatest miracle happened. He was well again. The father said to the son, I don't understand your father-in-law. I asked him to pray for you, and I was praising you that you really deserve the great miracles which happened to you. And your father-in-law says, that's called learning? That's called knowing? The Sukkachover says, Gewalt is my father-in-law holy. Gewalt is he deep. Don't you understand? I came to this world in order to learn. And you were telling him that I learned everything I have to know. So I can leave the world already. So my father-in-law was yelling, what? This is called learning? That's called knowing? He didn't do anything yet. Imagine a person says I'm perfect. It's a bad scene. You'd better write your own eulogy, because tomorrow morning you might be leaving. The Midrash says, if you believe that you can destroy, you also have to believe that you can rebuild. But what about that one thing that is wrong with me? Otherwise I wouldn't be in this world. Something, not my actions, that is wrong with me, something which needs fixing. How do I fix that? To be close to a person means, on one hand, to know how beautiful they are, how deep they are, and on the other hand, to have a little taste of what is wrong with that person which needs fixing. The deepest depths there is. Now listen to this deepest depth. When God created the world, it says, Asher bara Elokim lasois, God created the world to be fixed. Man was put into the world to fix the world. Everybody has to fix something in the world. I want you to know the deepest depths. The tree of knowledge reaches only to this kind of fixing of right and wrong, which means that a fixing of the tree of life is the deepest fixing, where right and wrong doesn't reach, where right and wrong doesn't reach, where right and wrong doesn't reach. What was wrong with Sodom? How did they get to be so bad? They were very holy people before they fell. The king of Sodom was Avraham Avinu's greatest pupil. The Ishbitzer Rebbe says they were not ordinary people, but they realized that there is a certain point of fixing which we can't reach anyway. They realized even if I do mitzvos, I still won't be completely fixed. So what's the issue? What's the use? Yitzchak is the one who's really fixing the world. Through Yitzchak, we are fixing the world. When he was born, he was wiping out Sodom. Sometimes we're studying all our lives. We do so much, and yet something is still hurting inside. Something is not fixed. And then, suddenly, something happens to me. I can meet a person, or I can open one page of a holy book, and so much light is shining, and so much light is shining into me. Something happens to me. I'm a little bit fixed. Avraham Avinu was sitting at the opening of the tent. He was still on the level of fixing his soul. He wasn't in the house yet. The angels asked him where Sarah is, and he said, Ina Ba'el, she's in the tent. She's already fixed. Because Sarah obviously was mamish higher than Abraham. She was already mamish fixed. You see, until I fix that certain part of me, I cannot hide with God yet. Maybe I am not hiding from God, but I cannot hide with God. Sarah was already in the house. That means she was already on the level of hiding with God. She was already fixed. This Torah is from the Ishbitzer Shiloach, Parashas Vayelech. It's a Torah from heaven. It's just not from this world. Noach made a covenant with God only on the level of fixing where his hands could reach. Etza Elokim italech Noach. Noach went in the way of God. I did something wrong, I'll fix it. There was a flood because we were stealing, so we'll stop stealing. What about that kind of fixing of the world which is deeper than all this? The whole world is on the level of needing to be fixed. On the level of needing to be fixed, what can I do on my level? Where can I reach? The fixing of the Holy Land is on that level where nothing else can reach it. Where nothing else reaches. To be in exile means that I cannot reach, I cannot fix that which is beyond me. Avraham Avinu. Rabbi Radoleke saw a lighted palace. He was the first one who was aware that there is something wrong with the world, As Elokim Salif Noach. Noach went in the way of God. Noach thought the way to fix the world was by being a good man, by being sweet, being God-fearing. Avraham Avinu was the first one who knew the world needs some light. The world needs something. Bivchinas, Achnas Torchim, on the level of bringing in guests, my brothers and friends. Something has to happen to the world which was never there before. Who was the first expert on knowing there's something wrong with us? Yosef Tzaddik. Yosef is divas amra el avihim. Yosef spoke badly about him in the front of his father. Moshe ben Yosef, redeemer and descendant of Yosef, is the one who will make us aware there's something wrong. Then comes Moshe ben David, redeemer, descendant of King David, the one who will fix it. What is the deepest prayer in the world? Says Reb Shlomo. The deepest prayer is not that I should have all I need. That is so very deep. But you know, my brothers and friends, what the deepest prayer in the world is. What the deepest prayer in the world is. What the deepest prayer in the world is. Can you please, God, explain to me my life? Can I have just a little explanation of what's happening to me? Ad kan Lashon Noach.